All right, guys, so today we're on location in Zimbabwe, Africa, and the sun is kind of killing me here. But what we're going to do today, we're going to showcase this Nissan Serena. It's a 2015 Nissan Serena Highwaystar, which I believe to be the top level model of this vehicle right now. So it's a seven-seater vehicle. We're going to go walk around it a little bit and just to kind of show people. I remember when we were looking for vehicles, trying to decide what to buy, there wasn't a lot of information on this vehicle. So I figured, you know, what the heck, let me go ahead and shoot some video on it. I've got my tape measure. We'll be able to take some kind of measurements. So it's not just a matter of this is small, this is big. So that's the whole idea here today. We're going to start with a little walk around and we'll start from the front. All right. So yeah, so this is Serena Pure Drive S Hybrid. So what it does is that it's basically a start and stop kind of situation. You come up to a stop sign, you put your foot on the brake, the engine's gonna die. And then when you start off again, it's gonna initiate, all right? So nice grille, very nice vehicle. I mean, I think it's got a good posture when you're looking at it from the front. It also has your parking sensors here so that you can detect how far out you're gonna be when you're trying to park, all right? Moving on this side, one cool thing I like about this vehicle is that it's got doors on both sides and they're all push to open. You can also push to close, but it's got doors on both sides, right? So if I jump in here, you can actually see that there's another door on this side. And if you're inside, all you got to do is pull on the handle and the door opens, all right? So that's the look from inside. We're gonna start from the front and work all the way up to the back, but over here, we'll open this up as well, just so we've got a little bit more light on the inside, but this is just manual. And what you're looking at right now is all the seats up. So it's got 3 rows, and we'll sit in each one of the rows just so you can see what that looks like, all right? So we'll keep that open, and we're gonna jump into the driver's or the pilot's seat, all right? I like these touches that they did over here. You can see Serena, it's got some little lights over there, little LEDs. And so you get in here. Right, so I'm about, what, 6'1", 188, 100 and whatever, 90 centimeters or something like that. So this is my position when I'm sitting in the vehicle. Let me try to shut off this beep before it drives everyone crazy. So when I'm sitting in the Serena, this is what it looks like. I'm about 6'1", so 188 or 190 centimeters, whatever that is. But this is my position when I'm sitting in here. I'm comfortable. There's a lot of room. I've got a good view off the road, and it honestly feels really good when you're sitting in here. Steering wheel is, you know, legitimate. It's a good steering wheel. There's nothing wrong with it. I got my cruise control on and off switch on there, cancel cruise control, that's it. There's not really any controls for your audio system or anything like that, right? This here has got a little touch screen over here, and that measures about what from across. Let's see here, screen size is about 8 inches, right? 8 inches diagonal across. All right, so over here you can see that the video is actually playing. It plays on here, and if you're looking up at the back, it also plays right on there. And this just closes like so when not in use, and you can just open it by kicking up that button right there. So the people in the back have some entertainment. Okay, so we'll shut that off and we'll turn our video off over here. But the rest of this here, you can see you've got your hazards over here, typical stereo, 8 inches like we talked about, fan controls up and down. It's got rear AC, so you can turn it on up here, but if you look up in the back, the people in the back can actually control it themselves using this system right here. Coming up here, you've got your typical rear view mirror over here, and it looks like it'll detect if there's lights behind you and kind of dim on and off or whatever else not, so you're not getting blinded by vehicles as they're coming up. All right, up here you've got your typical visor over here with a vanity mirror in it. All right, that's got a little sticker on it that seems to have gotten in there, but that's neither here nor there. Over here, same kind of situation, vanity mirror. It's missing a light, however, so you can't, you know, usually sometimes there's a light in here, you flip that open and you've got lighting on your face. This does not have that. Close that up. And then over here, just your reading, you know, lamps over here. And that's about that. What else can we talk about in the front? Positioning of the gear lever here is, you know, pretty standard for these kinds of vans. Start and stop, so you don't actually need the key in order to start this. So this vehicle is a Japanese model, so you can see everything on here is written in Japanese. Same thing with the stereo system. You'll see if you bought it from Japan, there's actually we've been trying to work on this to see if there's a way to convert this from Japanese to English, but have not been successful at this point right now. So you can kind of see if you try to go into the menus, everything is in Japanese over here. So a little annoying. You'd think that you'd just be able to go into the menu settings and just change that, but it hasn't been that easy. The AC blows pretty cold, so that's actually pretty good in here. Just some storage here. You can see how big it is, a typical navigation unit in there. Just a Garmin that's sitting in here, kind of gives you an idea of the size. And then down here, some more storage for cookies and whatever else not. You can see it's kind of packed right now. Got some jerky in here as well, but that's what that looks like. Over here in my driving position, you can see I've got some buttons over here. I've got my collision detect. I can turn that off and on. So over here, I've got my buttons here for operating the doors in the back as well. You can see the left side and the right side, and I just have to push and hold. It beeps a little bit, and the door closes. Same thing if I want to open it. And the door opens, right? I also have my eco mode over here. It kind of reduces how much power I'm using when I'm driving, and that's that system over there. All right, over here I also have a button that allows me to fold my mirrors, right? It says open and close for some reason, but it's actually just fold. So I hit it, you can see that the mirrors fold, okay? So if I was parking in a tight situation, that's pretty convenient. And then I hit it again, and they open. So pretty convenient there. Not a whole lot, not a lot of fanfare in this vehicle. It's not like it's some premium luxury vehicle where there's going to be a lot of things to talk about in here, but honestly, I think for what it is, this is actually pretty good. All right, so we're going to step into the back just so we can see. Well, the camera person is going to go to the back actually, and we're going to look at a couple of things down here. So as far as cup holders are concerned, there's the two in the door, but you also have this cup holder right here, and this will fit a standard mug. I had a water bottle over here a little bit ago. Let me see if I can grab that. All right, so down here we've got a cup holder, and it's a typical size cup holder. It'll hold about a water bottle. This is just 500 ml. That sits in there. It's a little wobbly, so if you had a bigger container, a water cup or whatever else not, I think that would fit in there nice and snug, but that's what that looks like. All right, down here we've got another cigarette light or 12-volt connection over here. We just have this for Bluetooth, just so you can stream audio, because this does not come with Bluetooth. All right, so that just plugs in right there, and that's what that looks like. This here is some kind of map reading thing of some sort that just came with the vehicle, so don't really mess with that at all. Coming out into the door pockets here in the front, you'll find on the driver's door and the passenger, there's a little pocket right there, a map pocket with a bottle holder over here. And this, it can be a little bigger. The bottle can be a little bit bigger, but as you can see, there's not going to be a lot of room if it starts getting too much bigger than that. So that's what that looks like. You got one on this side and one on the passenger side as well. Some door controls over here, lock, unlock, windows up and down. Another cool thing about this is that the back windows actually open. So you can see that's coming down. It's not all the way full open, but it's better than not opening. And that's how you close that. Okay, so we're going to jump into the back now and see what that looks like. So we're now in the second row. The sun was kind of playing tricks with the camera here, so we flipped it around a little bit, but we're in the second row right now. We're simulating I'm still sitting in the front, and there is ample amount of room in here. I don't feel squished at all. Matter of fact, if somebody shorter was driving, I would actually have a little bit more room in here. I'm going to go ahead and move the seat all the way back just to simulate somebody taller than me sitting in the front. So down here, there's just a lever. It's all manual, so you just grab this handle right here, push it back, and push it forward. So the seat is actually in its furthest back position at this point. So we're gonna jump back in here again. All right, and that's how much room I have in there. So you can see I still have about, what, 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches before I hit this little carry-over cup holder right here. All right, so let's talk about that cup holder for a second. So you can flip this up, all right, and this can hold a bottle, 2 bottles, right? Or if you're eating something, you got a little surface here to eat, right? If you had a cell phone or something like that with a little kickstand on it, you'd be able to put it on there and watch a video or something while the vehicle is going down the road. So pretty convenient right there, I think. Okay, put that down, and then this here just pushes down. On this side, you've got a map pocket. You don't have one on this side, okay? All right, so coming to the rest of this seat right here, you've got this middle option right here. You can pull this up and lower this guy, and then now you got another cup holder there as well, okay? This here has a little button right here. You can flip that up, and there's a little bit of storage in here for papers and whatnot. It's not very big at all, but you'd be able to put some things in there. It's about 1 inch deep or 2 inches deep, 5 inches across, and 10 inches lengthwise, all right? So that just closes like that. And when not in use, you can turn this into a 3-row seat, right? So you just pull on that little tab right here, and you can move it back like so. In its up position, 3 people can actually sit here, and legally, right? So you actually have a seat belt over here, all right? You got a seat belt over here for the guy in the middle, and then you've got a seat belt over here for myself. So this is a 3-seater right here, 2 more people in the back, 2 in the front, including the driver, and that's how you come up to your 7-seater. So that's what that looks like in the second row. Another thing about this second row that's cool is that there's a little lever that you can see right here on this side, okay? And it has one on my side as well. And I can hit that, and it actually reclines, all right? So if I wanted to take a little nap, I'd be able to do that as the vehicle is going down the road, and it actually lays, I believe, all the way down, like so. All right, so I think that would make a pretty comfortable experience right there, and then you can pull it up, and they also, of course, fold forward, and that's a position it's attempting to go into. But it's pretty graduated or very finely adjustable, right? So you can go wide, you can go or you can go far back, you can go all the way up, and you can go in little increments as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so in here, you can see that we just have some mats in here, so I'll throw this out here for a little bit. You can see it's got a track in here. In this track, that's what it uses to slide the seat back and forth. So if I was to grab this lever down here, pull it up, I can slide the seat forward, like so, all right? And then I can use the lever on the side to fold it. That allows me to get into the back, all right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and get in here, okay? All right, so I'm in the back row now, and as long as the seat is forward like this, I clearly have a lot of room. So what we'll do, we'll also pull it back just so you can see what that looks like. But before we do that, you can see that same back has the same situation right here with the cup holders and the little table right there. So that's pretty cool. All right, so tons of room, of course, if I'm sitting here and the seat is forward, but we're gonna pull it back. So I can just grab it and pull it back, and then control that. And now it's in its not most back position. It can come back a little bit more, but you can see how much room I have in here right now. Back here, I'm just gonna adjust this real quick because my back is kind of in this headrest, so I can lift that up like so, all right? Again, I still have a lot of room in here, which is actually kind of cool. I've got about 2 inches in here. My feet or my knees are not planted into this thing right here. If I wanted to use the cup holder, I can flip that up, you know, put my little cell phone on there, my water over here, and use that. And then over here, same kind of thing. I got the same cup holder on this side. There's also one on the opposite side right here, a little pocket where you can put a cell phone or something like that. So That's a typical iPhone right there, and that's how it fits in there. All right. Okay, and so down here, there's also another little storage pocket right here where you could put a book or something like that. So nice little cubby over there as well. Grab handles up here, AC vent right here. Okay, same thing with that second row. There's a grab handle, so a good amount of grab handles in here. The back itself, the seat also reclines. Right now you can see I'm kind of sitting upright. I've got a little lever over here where I can adjust that. And yes, the door is open right now, so I'm able to lay down further, but you can see how this would be kind of cool. Even if you're sitting in the back, you can at least relax a little bit, right? And be able to travel in comfort, right? I've got a seatbelt right here, all right? And also another seatbelt on this side. And you can see over here, there's another seatbelt that comes up from this position right here. It clips in here, and then it can go and clip right there. So I'm thinking that you'd be able to sit a kid or something like that in this position right here. I can kind of unclip that, show you what that might look like if an adult was sitting here. So I'd like to think that maybe this is for a car seat or something like that, but as an adult, I can actually sit in here. Whether I'd want to go very long in this position, that's a whole nother conversation, but yeah, that's actually not too bad at all. So I'll unclip that. And this section in the middle, like I was demonstrating when I was up front, you can pull this and lower it, right? Once it's lowered like this, there's a little switch right here that you can pick up on. You can actually slide this and slide it all the way up to the front, like so. And then you'd be able to flip it up again. All right, and once that's flipped up, you now actually can sit 3 people up front. So that's actually kind of cool. So that lowers and then slides all the way back again using a lever on the front. So lowers it and slides all the way back to make your 3rd row in the back again. So it just locks into position like that. So another cool thing in the back here is once that console is slid all the way to the front, this seat right here will actually move sideways. You can see it's got a little lever right here. Grab that, move that sideways, and then now you can exit a whole lot easier, right? So this is actually pretty cool. It's the only one that does that. The one on the right-hand side here as I'm sitting does not do that. So grab that again, put it back into position, all right? Grab it, slide it over. Okay. Last thing while I'm in the back here, this seat here, you can actually control it. So this is meant to be the position that you would normally get out of the car. You can get out on that side as well, but it's a little bit more cumbersome, right? This side here has this little lever right here, and you just flip it up. It allows you to unlock the system and slide it back and forth. So that's what that kind of looks like. All right. So I'm going to lean this forward, and I am going to exit the vehicle. So a lot of room in here, I think, getting in and out. And then I can then grab this, move this to the side, put this back, and that's what that kind of looks like. Push my button, I can close the door. All right, let's go to the back. All right, so coming into the back, there is, I think, ample room in here, depending on what you're doing with this vehicle, right? We'll just raise that up a little bit. So I can come and I can sit in here if I was tailgating or at a drive-in or something like that. I feel like there's good enough room where you can just kind of sit like this. You got a little bit of shade with this awning here or the tailgate up. And then if I was to flip sideways, I can actually sit in here. And, you know, I'd be able to close the door too, but, you know, just to give you an idea of how much room is actually in here. And I still have a lot of headroom right like that. We're gonna measure it, all right, to actually get an idea of how much room is in here. So the seats do go up, which I'm gonna demonstrate, but right now we're gonna take the measurements with the seats in this position right now. So you've got about 16 inches here depth. You have about a height of 47 inches, and you have an opening of about 45 inches, right? That's in this orientation right here. Let's grab a suitcase. what I have here is a typical large size suitcase. I think it's about 13 inches. Let's just measure it. It's about 13 inches like so, and a height of about 30 inches. So this is your typical checked luggage, right? So we're gonna grab this, put this in the back, and you can see how it fits, right? The door does close with it in that position right there. I'll flip over to this side so you can take a look at that again. So this is what it would look like. So you can put two of these bags side by side and that would fit with these seats in this position, right? You can lay this down and it fits like so. Then you'd be able to put a backpack or something a little bit smaller right there. Okay, grab this. So now we're gonna look at this here. We're gonna lower this headrest and we're gonna work on lowering these seats right here and showing you guys what it looks like when these are lowered. We'll grab that suitcase again. Oh, I keep saying lowering, but they actually flip up to the side. We're gonna demonstrate. To stow these seats away, there's this blue little string right here. You pull that, the back flips up, and the seat comes up like so. And then it's got a little catch right here where you kind of just hook it up like that, right? Another little lever here, pull that, fold that down. Now this seat is up, right? So if you wanted to carry 6 people who have a little bit more luggage in there, you could still do that. Now you can slide a suitcase down here, all right? Put another one over here and another one over here. So 3 suitcases would be able to fit in this orientation, right? You can also lower it depending on the size, dimensions of the suitcase, etc, etc. All right, this one here, pull the lever, that lowers it like that, and then flip it up. Use your little safety catch right here so it doesn't fold back down, and you can tighten it as well, like so. All right, now you've got a little bit more room in here. So think about this same check bag right here, another one over there, one standing up over here, one standing up over here. That's about 4 of these bags, right? If you're crafty, you can stack them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 standing up in the back. So a bunch of different things that you could do with that. You can lay them down like so, and that's how much room you have basically. So we're gonna measure it as well, so you can kind of see what we're working with in this orientation. So from seat to seat, you got about 33 inches, right? A little bit less, but 33 inches, just rounding it up a little bit. And then inside from the back of the seat right here, that's without sliding it forward, you've got about 50 inches, right, to the very edge, or 51 inches to the very edge over here, okay? Now keep in mind that seat can still slide forward, so let's do that. All right, so we've slid that forward. That one's not in its most forward position, but I just want to show you guys how much room you would have in this kind of a setup right here. So let's measure that again from the edge. All right, so that gives us about 64 inches. So in case you had to carry something that's long and awkward, you'd have about 64 inches of length or depth right there, okay? So that's about the setup in here. Different configurations that you can use in here. I bet you could also just pull these seats out if you wanted more room, disengage these seats, and just have it be more open in the back. But, you know, this is how we usually have it set up. All right, down here also, there's some storage in here. You flip that open and you can see we keep mats in here, some kind of road supplies, triangles, and all that kind of stuff that you would need if you were on the road. So this is actually pretty big and actually pretty deep. I'll measure this for you guys so you can kind of see what we're working with. So that's about 45 inches across, 16 inches that way, and about, what, 8 inches deep, or 9 inches if you want to take it to the very top, but I'd say about 8 inches deep right there. So lower that. All right, so those same sensors that we had up front, you can see those right here in the back as well. So it's got rear sensors, and if we close this, you can actually see a camera right here. So it's got a rear camera on here. That rear camera is pretty cool. When you're inside, it actually comes up. Let's go ahead and start it here. All right. So I'll turn this so you guys can see that. Right here in the corner, it'll actually show you guys the rear view. So it's got a 360 camera. You can see that over there on the side. And then it's got your trajectory right there. I can turn the steering wheel and it kind of gives you those guide marks where the vehicle is going to land, and it's dynamic. So you can see that changing as I'm turning the steering wheel. That red line right there kind of moves as you turn the steering wheel. So that's pretty cool. So another thing you can do with this vehicle is that you've seen us open these doors automatically by just pushing the button, but you can also change them to a manual mode, right? So if you come in here, you see that there's a button right here, on and off for manual, right? And we can turn it off like that. Now they're in manual mode, right? Not automatic. So when you're doing that, you still don't have to slam these doors. You can just, and they kind of suck themselves closed. I know we're sitting on a hill as well, so that was helpful with closing that, but you don't have to ever actually slam it all the way here. You just bring it over there, you let it go, and then it's gonna actually just suck itself the rest of the way in. So I think that's pretty cool. But manual mode, okay, and it stays. Again, we're on a slanted piece of road here, so you can see that it holds in position like this. It's not going to slam down or try to decapitate you, so that's actually pretty cool. All right, so that's everything regarding the dimensions of the vehicle itself, right? It's a little bit hot out here, so I'm trying to go through this a bit quick, but drivability, let's talk about that for a second. I think the vehicle drives pretty good. Had it on the highway speeds, it drives pretty good. In the city, it's not cumbersome operating it in traffic at all. So I think it's overall a very good driving vehicle. It sits low to the ground, so that's very helpful when you're going down the highway. Driving down the road, it gets you about, what, 10 liters for every 100 kilometers. So fairly efficient, not the most efficient vehicle in the world, but also that's not too horrible. If you're driving really, really careful, I've had it at about slightly less than that or slightly less consumption, but I think overall 10 kilometers per liter is about accurate. Let's talk about passing on the highway. Passing on the highway, this is a 2-liter engine that you've got in here. We'll go into the engine and just kind of give you a quick shot. But this is a 2-liter engine that you have in this vehicle, and you can pass on the highway. It's not incredibly powerful, so it's not like you're driving some kind of V8 or V6. So it's a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine, right? So there's no turbo in it, which is actually a good thing. So you don't ever have to worry about those things going out into the future. Turbos are usually pretty expensive for anybody who's had a turbo vehicle. So it's nice. You can pass on the highway. You just got to give yourself a little bit more room. It's not a sports car. It is a van after all, but you can pass on the highway. One thing about this vehicle that you have to watch out for is the ground clearance, right? So you don't have a lot of ground clearance on here. So if you're starting to go out off the beaten track or something like that, you're actually not working with a lot of ground clearance. I'm going to measure this for you guys just so you can get an idea of what this looks like. So this is about 9 inches, 9.5 inches from the ground. That's your clearance at that point. And let's see if we can find something lower in the back. No, so it's lowest in the corners right there, so that's about 9 inches. And if we come up to the front here and kind of show you guys what it's like at the lowest spot right here, again, 8.5 inches right there. So you're not going to be able to drive off-road or go crazy with it, especially as soon as you load it up with some people. That's only going to make that sit down a little bit more. But overall, beautiful vehicle, drives real nice, and I definitely recommend it to somebody who's looking for a vehicle that's, you know, can hold 7 people, 8, 9 if you're really trying to pack people in there. But excellent vehicle.